Hello YouTubers, this is Pilot with a Gun, and today's video is a tutorial on getting started with reloading. Some of you out there might be wondering how much it costs, what equipment are required, and you'd be surprised at how easy and how simple reloading is. So first and foremost, first thing you're going to need is some type of press. This is a Lee Classic turret press, and it's a turret style press. There are three different types of presses out there. I'm not going to get into details, but there's a single stage press, there's a turret press, and there's a progressive press. The single stage press is the simplest out of all of them, which means that it only has a single stage for your dies, which means every time you need to go to another die, you have to unscrew it, plug in the other die, and you can go on with your reloading. And the progressive is the more expensive of the three, and I won't get into much details about that. So the turret press is a happy medium between the two. It is fairly inexpensive. This one in particular cost me around $110. I got it at Cabela's, and sometimes they go on sale for $99 online if you're willing to bargain hunt. Second thing you're going to need is some type of caliper. Calipers are very important because you need to measure the overall length of your round, and that's very important because that will dictate what kind of pressures you're building up into your round. And so an example of that would be here. You measure the overall length of your bullet as it is seated into the brass. Okay, so any caliper will do. This one in particular is $30. I got it at Cabela's, and I think sometimes you'll see it on sale for $22. It doesn't matter. It could be digital, it could be dial. As long as it measures it in inches, then that's what you need here. There you go. Here's a close-up of it. Okay. Next thing you're going to need are dies. Dies are important because they are going to be responsible for shaping and seating your round, and they are specific to the caliber that you'd like to load. So for example, these dies in particular is 9mm Luger. It is $44. I got it at Cabela's, and the different types of dies have different jobs. For example, the first one I have here is the sizing decapping die, and what it does is it sizes your brass as well as decaps the primer out of it. Your brass, of course, needs to be resized because after you fire it, it tends to expand and form into the chamber of your gun. So you have to resize it for it to be able to be used again. The second stage here is it's called a powder through expanding die, and what it does is it expands the mouth of your brass as well as lets you put the powder that you measured into your brass. So here we go. Okay, and then finally you have your bullet seating die, and just like the name implies, this die is responsible for seating the bullet into the brass, and you could adjust the overall length with this knob right here at the very top. There we go. Okay. Another thing you're going to need, okay, is some type of scale. This is a Hornady GS 1500. I got it for $30 at Cabela's, and it's relatively cheap and I think it's very accurate. Some people prefer the old school type scales. I like this because it is digital and it gives you the weight in grain in a tenth of a grain. So it's very, very, very accurate. There you go. This scale in particular came with a calibrating weight to calibrate it and a pan for measuring your powder. And finally, last thing you're going to need is some type of reloading handbook. This handbook is like a recipe book for your loads. It will tell you how much powder you're going to need. It's going to tell you the overall length of your round based on the weight of the bullet that you're using. It's a very, very informative book. And as you can see, it has a bunch of charts here that tells you the recipe for your load. And it also tells you your basics of reloading. It's a very, very informative book. I suggest you read it thoroughly before you start reloading. So as far as your actual equipment, these are your must-have items. Of course, I have not talked about your powders and bullets and whatnot, so I guess I'll bring that up. Powder, it's important. This is a Bullseye. I think it's about $22 at Cabela's. It's 1 pound of it. It will last you, I don't know, about 2,000 rounds. Primers. You need primers for your round. This is 1,000 standard pistol or small pistol primers. It's about $36 at a local gun store. And finally, you need some type of a bullet. So bullets, you could get them for, I don't know, I get the plated ones for $25 for 250 rounds. So 9mm I could load for about 14 cents per round, which ends up being $7 for a box. Not bad. I'm also not counting the brass. The brass I save, therefore I consider it free. And brass, I could typically reload them about 5, 6, 7, even 8 times, and they're perfectly fine. So all of this, with the primer, bullets, and powder, is around $320. So with that investment, you could come home, set up your press, and start reloading right away. And that's pretty much what I did when I got started with reloading. The next thing I'd like to cover are the optional items that will make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, so first optional item is this. It's the Leaf Safety Primer. It's $26, and it attaches to your press like so. And what it does is it automatically puts a primer into the primer lever for when you prime your rounds. Otherwise, without this, you're going to be picking it up, putting it into the primer lever, and it's an extra step that you don't really want to do. As well as it prevents possible contamination with your primers. So it's a $26 investment. I think it's well worth it. The next thing that would make your life a lot easier is the Lepra Autodisc Powder Measure. This one is about $42, and instead of measuring your powder every time and putting it through this funnel, what you can do is you can install this into your press like so. And what it does is it measures a specific amount of powder that you put into your brass. And what I mean by that is you set the amount of powder you want to fall into your brass, and every stroke will fill the powder into the brass. It's not quite as accurate as measuring out each load yourself. So for precision shooting, I would still go and use the scale. However, for target shooting, making hundreds of ammo at a time, this is the way to go. And it's accurate to, from my experience, plus or minus 1/10 of a grain. So that's pretty good. And finally, another optional item is a trickle, powder trickle. And this is for when you are measuring your powder. It's quite hard to pour the bottle of powder into your pan here. So using a trickle device, it's a better and more accurate way of measuring powder. Alright, so to do a recap, your must-have items are: you need a press, and a scale, a caliper, some type of reloading handbook, powder, primer, bullets, of course brass, but hopefully you've been saving that. And your optional items that would make your life easier: the safety prime, some type of auto measure, and a trickle device. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you guys are looking to find a way to clean brass without needing a tumbler, please watch my other video on this channel, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions, let me know, message me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.